And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Top 8. Here we go. What a day it's been. We've had drama. We've had knuckleheads. We've had, I don't know, fatigue stuff. What else have we had?
We've had Kassai.
Oh, there's Kassai out here.
We've had Bravo. We've had Dromai. There's Kano out there. And we have got for you all Teklovossen.
That's right. But first, let's take a look at our top 8. Everyone's dying to know. Zane "The Rock" Johnson, of course, coming in the first seed as Azalea, ace in the hole. What a spread we got here in our top 8.
Yeah, unbelievable diversity of heroes. No duplicates. Some brand new heroes from the heavy hitters set in the KO Armed and Dangerous there at your 5th spot. Moises Lopez. And then, of course, down at the bottom of your screen, Colin Eriksen, Kassai of the Golden Sand, took down Charles Dunn in a game earlier in Swiss and just in an absolute barn burner of a match. I couldn't be more excited with our top 8.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We'll bring you, of course, one of each round, and these players are playing for the prestigious and very large February AGE Championship medallion.
This is for all the marbles. And
if you like gold, let me tell you.
And we've got this beautiful cold foil extended art arcane lantern, courtesy of Josh Myers, our golden rune blade of the West.
Honestly, one of the hardest hitting arts in cold foil in this entire game.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
And of course, if you don't know, this is an open series. They get money and points. So we're playing for points. They're playing to play in the AGE Championship, which if you missed the announcement earlier, we now have a PTI and a golden cold foil to give out to our championship this year. So shout out to LSS for supporting this series of events and all of us out here in Southern California. Thank you to the chat for joining us all day, coming in late. It's going to be, I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'm just going to assume it's going to be kind of a late night. But we're going to have fun. Sam and I will be here all night treating you all to some commentary on this game. So I think we're ready. So let's
it's Bravo and Azalea. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding. It's the Teklovossen. Of course it's the Teklovossen.
We got you. We
Come
got you.
On. We have to show it into this very cool, slightly different take on Kassai, Tunic, and Courage in the list. No grains of blood spill for Colin Eriksen on Kassai of the Golden Sand into this Teklovossen deck. I couldn't be more excited to see exactly how this shakes out. I don't think this is a great matchup for Kassai, but I was chatting a little bit with Connor, and I was like, so how's your game plan into Kassai, Mr. Teklovossen? He said, I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet.
Who knows? Let's find out together on stream. Young Colin over here, of course, the new prodigy in our local scene, been playing for a couple months, a long couple months, but has put in the work, has learned the game pretty well, and is doing great. Top 8 last month. Again, he's top 8 here this month. So, just making his mark very early on in his flesh and blood career. So, Connor, is Connor a San Diego guy?
Connor,
I feel like he might, because I don't recognize him as a local person.
Yeah, I'm not
but
sure.
I'll just say he's from San Diego. Why not? They got a lot of good players. They're hanging out. They come up in force, and they do really well. So here we go. What even does Teklovossen do here?
Teklovossen is a very cool hero with a very cool ability. You get to pay 3, you get to play an Evo from your Banish Zone. The question is really, is Colin going to be able to aggro down Connor here on Teklovossen before he just builds up too much of a fridge, too much equipment suite to make it just like impossible for Colin to get over? I don't know if he's going to really be playing into Raise an Army, playing into the gold tokens, or if he's more likely just going to be playing into trying to kill his opponent with attack reactions and those powerful swords.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Colin's deck. I've seen it played at least once today. I'm not sure. People saying it's kind of mid-rangey with a defensive kind of edge to it, but I've seen him blow people out today. So it's got gas in it, and we're really excited to see what he can do here. Definitely, I mean, the hot streak, putting in work as a sword that he plays. You block it with an attack action, it gets go again, which is cool for him and sucks for everyone else. But, Connor's got an interesting deck that kind of counteracts that with a lot of cards that are not attack actions.
Yeah, that is very true. Connor definitely does have a number of attack actions in the deck, but certainly more block cards, more action cards in those Evo pieces. And we're going to see how much go again is Colin able to find in these early turns. Outland Skirmish going to get +3, and any time a weapon hits this turn, going to get that copper.
Yep. So I haven't seen a lot of Teklovossen yet, but it is exciting to see what people are doing with it. I've played against it once, and I got macro-potented, which always sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're like, wait, what does this do?
I discard when?
Yeah.
You have how many resources?
And you have go again? What
Action
is
points
this?
times 2?
Shout out to Craig Pollock, the Scourge of Pasadena.
Oh, we miss you, my brother.
We do miss you. Hope you're doing well. So, just a little easy peasy Outland skirmish in the hot streak. Why not? We'll just stab you with our sword and see how it goes. One fun thing about, I think this is probably just the way Kassai is, but Nourishing Emptiness coming out as like a really cool card in Kassai because you're just banishing any attack actions you might have and always getting Dominate and 5 Intellect, which is pretty sweet if you ask me.
The Overpower going to be coming across on that hot streak. Going to make the Copper now threatening 2 with the Centauri Saber. This is the game plan for Colin. Got to get damage through early before those Evos are online because once there is more equipment, it's going to be much more challenging for Kassai to find those sword strikes, draw blood, and finish off this Teklo before he is in that mech suit, before Iron Man has entered the arena.
Oh, apparently Connor's an OC local. All right, so, close enough to LA that we can claim him too.
Oh, incredible.
Valiant Dynamo also getting a lot of value in these Kassai decks. You just always getting a block for 1 is pretty good.
In the game that he took against Alejandro Cuevas, he said, I think at the end of the game it had blocked for like 15 over the course of the game. As Mitch put it earlier, that's 2.5 or two carrion husks.
With no downside. Pretty good. Also, interesting that the gold and copper generation is very strong in this deck. Blood on Her Hand is very much active. Raisin Army is also very active. I think that's more of a longer game where that matters. But definitely seen Colin raise armies of 3 to 5 cell swords, which is pretty scary, especially since they don't have Phantasm.
No, not at all. They just attack.
Yeah, they just attack. They have health. You got to deal with it. And I think Teklo probably can deal with that if he gets set up.
So we are going to give the hot streak go again with that liquid cooled mayhem, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to get go again. We're going to activate the Iron Song versus Break the Chain, and then come on in with the Centauri Saber.
And the versus gives it the
Courage on hit.
Courage on hit, yep.
And then the Slice and Dice going to bump up the Centauri Saber there. TCG talk in the chat.
Yeah, very open meta right now. People having a lot of fun playing the new heroes. We had 11 KOs today, 69 players total. Fabulous turnout, 7 rounds in Swiss. But as we said, a unique hero in every slot of our top 8. With some, original 8 heroes in there too. We got Bravo. We got Dorinthia. Is Dorinthia in there? No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dorinthia. Leon's on Dorinthia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We will have all top 8 deck lists shortly after the event at age.events. Top 16 deck lists, I'm being told by my producer. And yes, that is the proxy for the Heart of Findall. This is now going to be going ahead. This is a Junkyard Dog. We're going to go ahead and scrap the Evo there. I believe that's the arm piece. And now that can be played from the Banish Zone.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Connor play some of this Teklo. When I played against Evan Bridges at Armory, he got a lot of cards under his Evos. I think he had like 17 cards when he finally turned into the Necropotent, which was...
It's pretty hard to come back from that point. You're discarding every time they attack. Your attack should have go again. So, again, Colin really just going to try to make sure that we don't even get to that point of the game, and we're putting enough pressure on. Before Connor is able to establish those Evo pieces, he is completely... He's naked. He's out there cold and shivering on the battlefield. So all he's doing is blocking with the cards from hand. Looks like we might be... No, it's not activating Kassai. This is just going to be 3 Outland skirmishes in a row, so a nice little 0 for 3, plus that copper generation on hit. You have to imagine Blood in her hands. Powerful card in this matchup when you're trying to just do as much damage as possible.
I always feel like after a deck check, your cards are in a weird order. No matter how much you shuffle,
Yeah.
they feel like they've all clumped up no matter what you can do. Hot Streak coming in for an easy 6 right now. At least I think so. They always like to use the 9 upside
Yeah,
down.
I think that's a 6.
But I just read it from his perspective. Yeah, so, do you take 6? Do you block with an attack action card and give it go again? Will he just give it go again no matter what you do? These are the questions.
These are fun choices that poor Colin has.
there.
Look at that. Look at Colin. Not only understands the game of flesh and blood, understands the game of coverage.
Yeah.
What can't this
Understands
kid do?
the game of how dice work. Look, 9s and 6s look the same. All right, so kids, it's hard. Connor's got a foiled out deck here, so it's kind of hard to see what he's got in his hand because they're all a little dark on these.
Yeah, I think
Mechanologist
it's either Terminator Tank or a War Machine. Got a Scrap Trader in hand there. I think has both the Terminator Tank and a War Machine. The War Machine, I think, is being put to the combat chain here to block. Again, that would turn on the go again for the Hot Streak. That is an attack action card. War Machine, of course, and Annihilator and Annihilator Engine and Terminator Tank, all these cards that when your Evos are popped up, they get +3, overpower, cost 3 less, and then either discard a card or destroy the arsenal on hit. We're going to go ahead and Blade Flurry this, and it's gotten the go again, thanks to being blocked with attack action. So 2 damage coming across, making another copper. Everything's coming up Colin to start this game.
Blade Flurry is a crazy powerful card that I dislike greatly.
Do ya?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you think it's 0 for 4, but it feels like it's much more than that.
Centauri Saber, 4 damage coming across Connor all the way down to 25 here. Hasn't been able to establish a single Evo piece. Let's see if he's going to be able to do any of that here.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, he's only got 1 in Banish. I mean, I feel like Teklo wants to block a lot, hoping to set up, but I think he is going to go ahead and activate his Evo, playing it not as an instant, just playing it raw out of Banish because doesn't have the resources for that, but starting it up, we'll see how it goes. I love these Steel Memory or Steel Soul pieces because they don't activate the first time you do it, but every time you do it again, you get all those cool bonuses that they give you, which is really fun for, you when you're playing Teklo and not his opponent.
Hot Streak here, coming in for 2. Not sure there are, Junkyard Dog in the hand there. Maybe another, I think that's just a Fabricate, and then the block card. So has a way to not give this go again. Of course, that's only what's represented on the board right now. Colin might very well have one of those attack reactions, and there it is. A Blade Runner going to go ahead, give go again, and a run through. So we're giving double go again just because we want to really pump up that Centauri Saber as much as possible. I don't need the 1 go again. I need the 2.
Keep this one for myself.
Let's see any reactions here from Connor now that it's got the go again. Most likely not. Do have a hold the line there, but unless Colin draws multiple cards on the turn, not going to matter. This one is going to block the 2, defense reaction. And now the Centauri Saber gets the +2/+2, the 2 from its own power. Coming in for 6. If you block an attack action, gets bumped up to 7. No on-hits here, no Kassai activation, no Spoils of War, no Outland Skirmish. So this is just 6 raw damage. And it's time to finally cash in some block on that controller, or not on that controller, but on Evo in general. But the Junkyard Dog is going to push it up to 7. So 1 damage coming across. Connor still trickling away that life total.
Yeah, pushing through not even chip damage. He's doing real damage. He plays at a peppy pace as well. Is very assured in all his plays.
Yeah. That's going to be just pitching away the block card that the name escapes me. It's like Steel Street Enforcement or something like that.
Yeah, that's right, because he talks about being a citizen.
Yeah. I think the fact that is a Fabricate headed to the arsenal. Fabricate, such a powerful card once you get some Evos online. It allows you to kind of cheat your temper. You can give them all +1. You can banish an Evo from your hand, draw a card, set yourself up with an Evo in the banish zone, and then the +1 to all your Evos on the turn can just be insanely powerful if you have a full suite of Evos. Connor here just trying desperately to find a time to go ahead and make sure that he can get some Evos on the board because he's just been staring down sword swing after sword swing. Valiant Dynamo, as we've seen all day on the hands of this Colin Eriksen fella, gets a lot of block over the course of a game.
The young Colin.
Are you rooting for him because his name is also Colin, or are you like there cannot be another?
There
Colin
can
that's
be
it?
only one.
Okay,
It's
so
the
you're
Highlander rules.
So you're wishing for his demise. Is what I'm
Actually,
hearing?
no. If I do that, he'll destroy me, and then I'll be gone. That's probably why he's so powerful, because he's destroyed so many Collins already.
Oh, no.
Activating Kassai, because you can turn it on. Swords get cool little hit effect of just producing money,
Yeah.
and then he plays blood on your
Ooh.
hands. Oh
Blood on your
god.
hands. So looks like he's gonna go give that sword +1, go again, and let it attack twice, blowing up some copper in the process.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, it's funny that I feel like people were kind of concerned about copper not meaning anything to Kasai when they first kind of spoiled her, but seems like, I mean, Warrior always kind of just made copper and it didn't really seem to make any sense why. So now we know why, because Kasai was coming along and she likes money.
Yeah, these cell swords out here, they need to be paid for their work. Ooh, see a nice little that all you got in the
It's a
deck.
gig economy, you know.
It is a gig. At this point, hey, listen, in today's day and age,
you
gotta work where you
gotta
can.
get paid.
That all you got here, going to go ahead and defend react upon the Centauri Saber. That's going to be met by your favorite card. Blade Flurry, giving it +2 and your next attack, plus sword attack +2, a little 0 for 4 attack reaction spread over 2 chain links. But 4 damage is still 4 damage. 0 resources, still 0 resources. Pretty good in these warrior decks.
Gets that gold. He loves gold.
Yeah, gold. So good in these Kassai lists. Not only can you draw a card and turn your swords on for free, but then cards like Raise an Army, cards like Cash In. I don't think he's oh, yeah, no, he is
Yeah,
playing
he's
two
got cash in. He cashes in pretty
Yeah,
well.
probably for these aggro matchups where you need to draw a couple cards off of the gold and just keep your foot on the gas. Go again, +2 off the Blade Flurry. You're going to give a Scrap Trader and another that all you got here.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, her hero ability is just so valuable that gold, even if you just pay for it to draw a card, just dividends on your investment there. Free sword attacks, you get another card in hand, and you have one floating usually. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Colin here making good use out of a big old red-filled hand, utilizing the Tunic and 2 red cards and that blood in her hand to still have quite an effective turn with these sabers. Activated the Kassai, so it does have, I believe, 2 gold now. If we draw cash in, I'd probably not playing the Raise in Armies. Gorganian Tome. Ooh,
No,
Warmonger's Diplomacy here is big.
That's
this
pretty
is a
good.
big turn to be playing a Warmonger's. Look at all those cards in hand. Attack reactions, though, not going to be affected by the Warmongers.
That's true. That is true, but he can't play that Gorganian Tome.
I know.
So,
Who's really winning?
What's he gonna do if he can't just draw a card for free and get free sword swings?
The answer: play out a hot streak.
Yeah, and then a glint, and then another sword.
Ooh, a couple D reacts here
He chose
for
one.
Connor. Gonna give it the Blade Runner. Gonna give it the Go Again. Now that the Go Again has been represented, let's see if Connor wants to throw down either of those 2 D reacts. The answer is yes. It's going to be sink below. We're going to sink away. I believe that's a liquid cooled mayhem.
Did he grab another one? Does he have an Evo in his hand too?
An Evo? No,
No,
I don't believe so.
I mean, it is interesting with Teklovossen. They do seem to trade life up front to build their machine and then transform. So it's hard to evaluate exactly where the game state is at. But, it's sitting at 20. Colin's at 34. But, if he can change. I mean, it's that one Eva, though. That's making this real scary.
Yeah.
He hasn't seen a lot.
He hasn't seen a lot. Hasn't been able to block with many to put them in the graveyard. Hasn't been able to scrap them away, and it's just been facing down attack after attack. The question is, will Colin stumble at all out of the gate with a couple cards like those Sink Pillows in the hand? That's not going to do a lot for offense. This might be the turn that Connor needed to get a little, separation and be able to establish some Evos. The question is, what is Colin going to be able to string together now that his swords are free?
They have 2 defense reactions in hand?
Yeah, I think he's got 2 Sink Pillows.
Ooh. Well, might not be the most impactful turn. I think Connor finally drew another Evo, from what I could tell. So it could be a good little, some room to breathe for Connor if Colin can't push too much pressure on him. But I don't know. Colin doesn't even have to put that much pressure right now because how behind Connor is in developing his Evos and stuff. But, helps to have good cards in Arsenal. It's a commanding performance, right?
Yeah, commanding performance giving +3 if an attack action blocks. We're going to go ahead and destroy the Arsenal. Here's a hot streak.
All right, I changed my mind. I hate this card.
You hate this card? This is such a cool card.
You just block, and it's a command and conquer that triggers on block.
I know, so it makes it hard to block. It makes it you don't want to block. Lets you
That's
chip
crazy.
damage through.
Is it chip damage if it's more than 4?
Well, Hot Streak's coming in for a big old 5 here. That's a quarter of Mr. Davenport's life. He wants to utilize his cards on this turn. No go again is currently represented. 2 cards in the hand. No counter on Tunic, I don't believe. So how does Connor want to try to stop this here? He wants to block without an attack action so that the Hot Streak doesn't have go again. Looks like we're going to put 2 block from the Steel Soul controller and move to reactions. Does Colin have any reactions?
I've got a reaction.
Okay, what's your reaction, brother?
Don't do it! Think of his family.
And yes,
Oh,
the Fake
there we
Machine's going to
go.
go ahead and cover it up. We'll opt a card. Going to leave it on top.
There he goes, yep. Presenting like he had a bigger turn than he did. Connor coming through that turn pretty well. Can he get this Evo off? Will he play it as an instant? That's always fun. No, I think he just plays it. He doesn't need to draw a card. So, all right, here we go. We got 2 out of 4 slots covered up with Evos. He's got another 3 block on the field, or I guess, 5 or 6, depending on how you like to calculate things. So Connor eking up on the race here to transform his body into Iron Man.
Yeah, that's going to do a lot for Connor here. That's 3 block, then 2 block, then 1. So it's a full 6 life that Connor has effectively gained. This is now a Spoils of War and a Slice and Dice, so +3 on this Centauri Saber. Go again from the Spoils of War, and every hit makes 2 copper. It's time for a Fabricate from the hand. Believe we know that there's one in Arsenal as well, so we're going to banish a card, probably draw a card, and give both of our Evos +1 on this turn. That's going to go be the Evo Steel Soul Heart or Chest or whatever the chest is called. Core, something like that.
That sounds right.
The Heart Chest Core.
The Heart Chest Core.
You think that's it?
That's the one. Why not?
So all these Evos are now blocking for 1 more. The controller and the soul. The memory. Steel Soul memory. We've got a D-React as well. This is a big old Centauri Saber for 6 with go again.
The chest is the soul processor, which is what
the heart
nerds
chest
call
core.
the heart.
Chest core heart, yep.
All right, Slice and Dice, Spoils of War, easy peasy. What do we got on this? This is 5, 7, Slice and Dice 3, 2. I forget how much Slice and Dice does. Give me a slice. Oh, it's +1.
Oh, size does? Yeah, sorry. It's 1 and then 3.
Yeah, 1.
Yeah, 1 and then 3. I didn't know
It
you
does
were actually
both.
asking. Looks like this is going to be a block for 6. I'm seeing in the chat perhaps went under an Evo rather than give +1. We are going to go ahead and hit and run it. So now because your next sword is going to get go again, but then also +2 thanks to the hit and run because we've already attacked with the sword. So that means this one's coming in for 7. Technically has the go again, and that's not going to matter here. But it is going to threaten 2 copper on hit. We did break the chain thanks to the hit and run. So that's nice if you want to block with your memory again. Block with your brain.
Yep, Connor's Evo game getting a little bit brighter over here. He's got the chest in Banish. He's got another one in Graveyard that he could scrap later. I mean, representing possibly, 12 more health if he can get both of them on and all the value out of it.
Yeah. Connor stabilized a little bit. This is now going to be Colin's first turn where he doesn't have an arsenal in a little bit. Just going to be coming at him with 4 cards.
Yeah, and we've been at these life totals for several rounds. So Colin just, presenting a pretty steady onslaught that Connor is withstanding, which is, kudos, because it's a lot of damage he's threatening turn after turn.
Gonna banish 4 to Kassai here. 2 reds, 2 yellows. Time to make a gold on hit. Kassai, she is a sellsword. She is here to get paid, damn it.
And she deserves it. You know, she works hard for her money.
So hard for her money. You like that one? Our producer liked that one. She's over there giggling. She liked that one. This is coming in 4-2. It's a hot streak. Kassai online. Steel Soul controller being committed to the block. Any reactions? Going to be a Blade Runner.
Here comes go again.
Here comes go again.
No one saw that coming.
Hot streak now coming in 4-5. A little 2-card 7. If you block with an attack action, it'll become a 2-card 8. Kassai online threatening not only 5 damage, but another gold token. Haven't seen any cash-ins yet. And if we do, Colin's going to certainly be putting his foot even more on the gas this game. 2 cards in hand.
It's wild how long it's taken for the whole currency thing to develop into something really interesting.
Yeah, it started with copper so long ago.
Yeah, and they really didn't do much. And they had cash in at the same time, and it was like, okay, I guess this is kind of good, but when are we going to get gold? And then we finally got silver, and silver's really cool in Assassin, but then now we got gold too, and everyone's just blinging out their lives and feeling good about it. So, you know, that's a lot of damage coming through again.
That's 3 damage coming across thanks to the +1 from the attack action and the 3 from the in the swing. I wouldn't be mistaken if we're seeing in the swing in more Kassai lists after this day. Colin really showing the power of that card. You're throwing 2 sword attacks so often in this deck, depending on if you build it to, you know, do what it's supposed to do, and that's just 0 for 3.
Yeah.
That's Iron Song response numbers, and the only condition is to do what your deck already wants to be doing, and on a turn that you've already threatened Kassai, it seems like that's kind of the equation. Do you have in the swing? Do you have go again in the Blade Runner? Maybe time to activate Kassai.
Got another Warmongers. Not sure how impactful this card is on Colin's turn. He's just gonna, maybe it is this time. He's got his Nourishing Emptiness. It will be, I'm going to guess it's with Dominate, because then you would hopefully banish any other cards out of your graveyard.
Yeah.
Let's do a double check. Yep, it looks like we are clear. Dominate, he's going to get, well, no. We've got some. No, I don't think he has enough block on his equipment, unless he can Evo out something.
Currently representing 3 block on the equipment, 2 on the headpiece and 1 on the arm, but it looks like he might be activating Teklovossen here to go ahead and play another Evo and then draw a card as well. Super powerful effect.
Yeah, so if he does this, he might have enough to get around this Dominate, which would be pretty huge, because the 5 intellect that Kassai seems to regularly get from playing Nourishing Emptiness is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
We just getting an update from our other top 8 that Dromai has defeated
Kano.
Oh, Kano. Well, yeah, we all saw that coming. And then Dorinthia beat the lone KO. So, you know, our first heavy hitter has been hit heavily and is out.
Woo!
Definitely not late.
Loud applause in the coverage booth there.
Everybody loved that one.
Connor there activating Teklovossen to good effect that turn, able to draw a card. Looks like he's just going to go ahead and pass to end. Not always what you want to see, but with just a CNC left in the hand there. Let's see now. Colin might be activating Kassai again. Going to go ahead and check the yard.
He's looking for his milkshake.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
or the boys. I forget what happens in the yard.
Yeah. Well, it depends on who comes and who's been brought.
The sellswords come out, then you know you got to protect your milkshakes.
So you're saying that your gold brings all the sellswords to the yard?
Exactly.
Damn right.
We should make an altar gold that's a milkshake. Hit and run. You know it. You love it. It gives go again. And it seems more and more it's also being played after the first sword swing, which is just
well, and look insane. At this. On this turn, he actually is playing the Raisin Army here. He's going to go ahead and make 3 sellswords. His sword swing has go again from the hit and run. This is now all of a sudden a very different game, Colin. Look at this. We've got a Centauri Saber. This is 2 with go again. And then if that's a blue in hand, that's 9 more damage thanks to the sellswords.
Jeez.
I mean, we already have 2 resources floating and the tunic counter online, actually. So there's 9 damage on this turn, no matter what. Oh, wow.
That's pretty good. It's 9-11. He's doing all the things. His milkshakes has brought the boys to the yard, and a Connor is going to have to work hard to maintain his life, but he's done well. Teklovossen likes to block. They're not mad about it, but they're going to sit out there, and unless he can do something about them, it's going to get a little scary, especially if he can make any more gold and bring any more of his friends to the party.
Yeah, this is 3 more damage. We're going to go ahead and put the processor in front of this. But this is, I think, a really good, you know, example of what happens if this Kassai list is able to just kind of go unimpeded, undisrupted, and really just advance the game plan into a deck. The thing about Teklovossen is you do have to find your windows, find your times to do your evos. And Connor, he's found some evos, but he's just been forced to block hand after hand after hand. And on those first turns when you don't have the armor, that's how you often can stop the on-hit effects from Kassai utilizing their attack reactions. You have to use your armor, and if you don't have armor already, it's going to be a tough go for the Teklovossen deck here. This is going to be a CNC just straight at Kassai after the Teklo leveler takes out one of the cell swords. So you can just imagine Teklovossen, he's suited up almost all the way, just takes out the gun. He just started blasting,
Like,
just takes out one of the cell swords. And then it's going to be a command and conquer threatening the arsenal following. So Teklovossen's not out of it yet, folks.
You brought your friends. Say hello to my little friend, the Teklo leveler.
References on references from Honigman here. We've got 2 equipment.
I've seen movies.
And a slice and dice. Going to go ahead and be committed to the block. The question is Colin able to find more go again? It seems like that's what the deck's built around. Tunic counters going to go for 1.
Will he go again? Probably. But the cell swords, do they just have go again on them? Or do you have to
go again once, so they can only attack once you've attacked with a weapon.
A weapon, okay.
But then they just have go again.
Yeah.
So that's your main clause. You got to find the go again.
All right, activating Kassai, hoping to, refill her bankroll a little bit. She spent her whole wad on her 3 friends. Commanding performance coming in.
This is going to be a hot streak. You really don't want to block with an attack action. If you do, you lose your arsenal. Of course, I believe it's still that fabricate, so we can just play it at instant speed, but it looks like not doing that anyway, just going to block with the legs there. The Steel Soul Tower going in front of that hot streak. This is going to be hot streak for a total of 5, 2 from the hot streak, and then 3 from the commanding performance. Card in hand, card in arsenal for Colin Eriksen. Kassai of the Golden Sand doing well. We saw KO take down the battle-hardened in Hartford here at the AGE Open. 70 players. It's going to be a Blade Flurry just to get that 2 points of damage across. I don't believe we have Go Again represented yet. It's going to then be a Fate Foreseen and Respond. Classic Flesh and Blood here, Colin. We got attack reaction and a defense reaction. I don't know if Cell Swords are that classic, however.
No, just
Sorry, Cell Swords.
Just bringing other people to fight with you, that's a new thing. I get, I've been talking about this all day. It's like illusionist, but it's weird because they're just straight up other people that you're bringing and putting on the board. And it seems powerful. But with the condition that you have to attack with your sword, you can get jammed up if your draws are bad or you have to block awkwardly. So I'd still be scared of them anytime I saw them, though. Of course, and then you play Spoils of War, you get your go again. You're threatening this attack plus 3 and 3 from your Cell Sword friends. And then whatever you got in hand, maybe it's nothing.
Maybe. Yellow pitch, so not representing a way to necessarily swing in with the 2 little homies.
Maybe she's born with it.
Maybe it's Maybelline?
Hell yeah, let's go!
Heavy artillery in the pitch there. We're going to activate the Teklovossen now that we've got that card in the banish zone. Going to be able to draw a card and deploy it, get another just basically 6 life on the tower. Connor maybe looking like he's getting closer to stabilizing somewhat, though these Cell Swords are sure to put in work. Going to have to pitch 2 more cards to do so, but there again, that 6 life, 3, 2, and 1 off the tower. Draw a card off the Teklovossen ability. Do still have that Fabricate in the arsenal. That represents another basically 0 for 4 in terms of block now that you've established all your Evos. And, of course, all those Terminator tanks, those War Machines, those Annihilator engines, and the Mecropotent himself are all looking certainly more active from here. And there's going to be the Fabricate coming from the arsenal.
The Mecropotent is en route.
Now that all of those cards block for 1 more, we can put them all, those 3 at least, in front of the Centauri Saber here. Don't know exactly how many he blocked with.
He blocked with 2 of them. Now he's tipping this 3rd one on the Sellsword. Taking 1. Sellsword number 2 coming in, blocking.
Gonna take the boots.
And then just a hot streak. Wow. Kassai's got damage.
Kassai's got damage. Connor, though, stabilized a little bit in terms of life. Still got 2 cards in hand. Colin's still sitting on just the 1 Arsenal, Spoils of War, and a Blood in her hands going to the bottom along with that hit and run. Connor's sitting at 13. I don't think we can con him out just yet.
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure the number of cards that the Necropotent is like feeling really comfortable at, or like what the minimum number of cards are really looking for. I know the minimum is like you have to have all your Evos, but you know, is that what you really want to be doing, or do you probably need a bit more than that? So the Fabricate helps. The other cards you have under there also help, but he did have to pitch away another Evo, unfortunately. But he does got 2 cards, so we'll see what he does. Hopefully he can take care of one of these other boys out here in the yard.
Ooh, and that's a Singularity in the hand. So that's going to the Arsenal.
He's got the Singularity?
Yeah,
all right, let's go. Now we're talking.
Yeah, the Blaster here going to go ahead and take down a Sellsword, which means that Singularity is parked in the Arsenal. He's got 2 cards, or 4 cards left. If he's able to keep 2 blues and become the Necropotent, he's at 8 life.
Here comes CNC. It is a CNC.
Oh, there is a CNC. We can go weapon
make
into
this stuff
CNC, and it looks like Connor is does at least have 1 defense reaction in the hand. Is Colin going to be able to buy that out, or is it going to be left in hand so that Connor is not able to do anything with it?
Ooh.
When the CNC comes, run through, going to give the next sword attack +2. Going to go ahead and put that on the chain. Now it's time for 3 more from the Sellsword.
Right, come on, defense reacted. Don't hold it. Don't hold it, no. What does Singularity cost? Is it free?
Cost 6. No, it cost 6.
Oh, my God.
Oh, and look, we have the Tunic counter up online, so it's 2. What am I talking about? It has a blue. So this is going to be 2 damage coming across. And the Sink Below is used here.
All right. So that stuffs him. He doesn't get to play the CNC. Man, if he only knew what was in his arsenal, he probably would have played the CNC.
Yeah,
instead.
I mean, because if those are 2 blues in hand, are we going to see the Necropotent?
Summon the Necropotent.
Are we going to see him summoned here?
Windmill slam this card down. Let's go. 2 cards in the pitch zone. Boom!
It's happening!
I am Iron Man.
Singularity. The dark forces of magic, shadow, and technology come together, and Teklovossen ascends into something far greater. 2 action points, 6 resources, and discard upon attack from this point forward. Mechanologist cards having go again, of course, but on this turn, he'll have a number of cards in hand. I believe he'll have an intellect of 5 because of the ability from the, I believe, the soul memory there. But then
all of his abilities are about to pop.
Yeah. But then from this point forward, he will only have 3 intellect to try to take down Mr. Eriksen. The question is, will that 1 Centauri Sellsword be enough to do it? It's happened, folks. It's time to see the Necropotent in action.
Yeah, so let's see. We get 6 power card from your graveyard into your deck, 5th from the top. What's so funny? +1 on intellect. You get 1 action point from the feat, and he's going to gain 3 resources.
So 2 action points and 6 resources, because when you become the Necropotent, they all trigger twice. Just for
oh,
this
that's right. They all
turn.
trigger. Oh my.
Yeah, so he's going to be able to just attack 2 times. Colin's going to have to discard 2 cards, and of course the Necropotent also blocks for a buttload.
Pretty good. It's pretty good. Did he discard twice or just once?
Well, he's gonna. This is the
he
first
attacks
attack.
again. Yeah. Oof. Now we're gaming.
Dude, are you kidding me? We've gotten to see Raisin Army get off. We've gotten to see the Necropotent come out to play. This is incredible. If that CNC had come out, those 2 cards would have had to go to block, and then Colin would have had a whole new 4-card hand to come back at Connor with. But because he played a little more not defensively, a little more, not proactively.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. Like, yeah, he definitely could have blocked it, but Connor's down at 8, and if Colin has another turn of putting pressure on his hand, he gets to a point where he might not be able to keep 2 cards to transform into the
100%. Connor is so stoked.
If only he knew what was in his hand.
Yeah.
Although, literally multiple times, Colin has looked at me and been like, "You have this in your hand." I'm just like, dude, shut up. It is what's in my hand, but don't tell me that.
Hot streak here right now, not representing. Again, card in arsenal that has been sitting there. Oh, no, that's the CNC. So card in arsenal, card in hand, one CNC, and that arsenal card. Right, sorry, and the card in hand. Question is, Connor doesn't really have to block this with an attack action.
You ever just pick up someone's graveyard because they picked up yours?
Yeah,
You're
for
like,
sure.
well, I can look at yours too.
I'll just take a quick peek.
I'm allowed to do
Yeah, I'm
it.
going to take a quick peek too. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Oh,
Wait, these are all Flesh and Blood cards. Oh, fascinating.
These are your cards? Oh, your friend's cards. What did I say?
2 damage coming across, 5 cards in hand for Connor. So this is the biggest turn once you become the Necropotent. You get 5 intellect. From this point forward, you'll only have 3.
Does the Necropotent count as an act? No, he's not an attack action.
No blocks into a Blade Runner here. So Connor's just going to go ahead and take 2, maybe trying to close the game out. Remember, his attack actions have go again, thanks to the Necropotent here. So now it's time for 3 more with the Centauri Sellsword. Getting it by the Annihilator Engine block. Tunic into the Centauri Saber. That's going to take the Necropotent. He's going to go in front of that. I don't know why I keep using sound effects in this one, but it's just everything feels so exciting when you have the Necropotent, you have the army out.
He calls for sound effects. We'll get like a Foley guy next time to come in here and bang on some metal or something.
All right, 6-16. But here's a big old war machine. This, I believe, blows up the arsenal on hit, and the Terminator tank blows up a card from hand. Is either that way or the way backwards. Oh my gosh. Connor Davenport's hitting at 16. Sorry, at 6 to Colin 16. The 7th seed versus the 2nd. Yeah, this one is going to blow up the arsenal on hit. So that is going to threaten that CNC. It also has +3, so 9 damage coming at. Overpower, and only cost a 3 to play. But look at that, 2 attack reactions plus the Nourishing Emptiness here. That's going to be enough to buy the whole 9 points of value off the block. Now it's time to discard a card upon attack thanks to the Necropotent. That last card going to go ahead and be discarded. That's the Raise the Army. We're just going to put the Valiant Dynamo and take 4 points of damage here.
Ooh.
Or how much does he attack for 6? All right, but now only 3 cards for Connor Davenport. Colin can just draw right on back up.
Yeah, he attacks for 6.
My goodness. All right, but now this is where it gets a little trickier for Mr. Davenport. He only is able to draw 3 cards thanks to the intellect, but huge for Colin there. This is overpower. You know, it's the poor man's dominate. When you're playing into a warrior, plenty of attack reactions that can go around the claws.
Yeah, it definitely loses its appeal when most of their cards are not actions that they can block with, which is pretty good for Colin. But you know, Connor. God, this is getting confusing. Connor, feeling good. He's got a good amount of cards in there. Showing them off to Colin. Check this out.
So that's 3 more attacks. 6 cards left. That's, clutch from Connor to put that Fabricate under early in the game to represent 1 additional attack for the Necropotent here.
And you can't fabricate after the fact, right?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Somebody in the chat tell me. Coming in. Oh, yeah. Looked good last time. Is it the same card? No, that's...
Yeah, I think that's a War Machine, yep. So that is going to go ahead and threaten the arsenal here. 9 with Overpower. And then from that point forward, Teklovossen says discard a card upon attack.
Ooh, and now he's going to have him discard his Hard to Find L proxy.
Unless he just moves to end. Yes, he does.
Oh, he does.
Just moves. Arsenal's a card. Might be a red. Might not be able to do it. So does Colin... He might just throw that CNC, get it out of the arsenal. It's been threatened for 2 turns in a row.
Yeah. Luckily, Connor can basically block that with his body.
Yeah, for full-on body block potential here from the Necropotent. Still blocks for 5. Only 2 cards would be left after a block from hand here because while the Necropotent is quite strong, he doesn't have the ability to hold as many cards in hand. You have to understand. But with that Arsenal card potentially being a powerful red with Go again, thanks to the effect, we're going to have to see blue card going to the pitch. I think that's a Terminator tank, so that's 9 overpower. Discard a card on hit.
Well, he's got the defense reaction, so feeling, yeah, good hand right here. He's got 2 defense reactions.
Yeah, ooh, this is huge. One block left on the Iron Song versus. That's going to be a fate for seeing now. If he wants to go ahead and throw that sink below down, he'd be able to sink into that card as well, knowing that if Connor decides to attack with Teklovossen, that's going to make him discard as well, but that's 9 points of damage. These have been 3 huge War Machine, Terminator tank overpowered, and Colin's been able to block out every single one.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. Pretty tough for Connor here. He worked so hard to get here. You know, he built his suit one piece at a time by hand, and now he's trying to show it off to murder his friend here. But
discard a card upon attack, attacking for 6. What is Colin left within the hand there? Looks like it's going to be no blocks heading down to 5.
Now we're talking. I mean, I wonder if at this point he's just thinking, how do I weather this storm?
Oh, looks like this is just going to be Tunic, maybe into the... Oh, we can't do it in the cell store. It's just going to be the Hot Streak coming in for 2.
Yeah, I mean, if he can block another turnout like that, it will be hard for Connor to survive.
Yeah, he's got 3 cards left. Let's see, at least 1 red. Time to throw down another Terminator tank. On hit, discard a card. I see another sink below in the hand, and I think he might have put one in the arsenal as well.
Yeah, I think he did, because I think he saw it on top. These are all just coming out at the right time. I just imagine the Necropotent just like ripping off parts of his body and just hitting you with them as he attacks you, which is why you lose those cards as you attack.
Yeah, it's this funny thing where you get so powerful, especially on that very first turn, but then all of a sudden, with only 3 cards in hand, and once the Necropotent is out of cards in the soul there, it gets harder to actually close the game. But Colin's at 5. You have to feel like this is very, very close from Connor coming from behind, establishing the suit, and taking control of the game and taking the win. It's another sink below from the hand. Going to go ahead, bottom a card and draw. And it is the second sink below from the arsenal. We're going to bottom the card and draw again. That's 9 damage blocked, utilizing both pieces of equipment there for Colin. Every single one of these big overpower attacks has been completely stopped. We're going to discard a card thanks to the Teklovossen attack. This is the second to last time this is going to happen. We're just going to put 2 cards in front of this.
Ooh. Wow. I don't know. Let's see. Colin's deck's still good.
Very, very thin. Very
Pretty
thin.
thin, but he's got
like
a couple
eight,
turns.
Eight more cards, 8 to 12?
Yeah.
2 or 3 more cards after this? Do we have a Mechanologist attack to give go again, is the question for Connor. I believe a Hold the Line, a CNC. That's either a liquid-cooled mayhem. No, that's a heavy artillery.
Yeah.
Which is probably his blue for the turn. Which means he... Oh, no, so he has to Hold the Line as well. So is heavy artillery into the Teklovossen enough, or do you hold the Teklovossen back?
Oof. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, if he goes in for it now, it feels pretty weak, especially if he's got to play out that blue Mechanologist card, and then he can't attack anymore with the best thing he's got, which is his self. So this is a tricky spot for Connor. But if he gives any breathing room to Colin, he could also just die.
What a game here in our quarterfinals of this February AGE Open. 69 players have all come down to this top 8. Incredibly diverse top 8, incredible games all day on stream. And now we've got Kassai, who has raised an army, versus Teklovossen, the Necropotent. I mean, you couldn't ask for something more exciting. We haven't seen anything like this in like a major top 8. And this comes off the heels of Yuki Lee Bender winning with KO in the Battle Hardened in Hartford. This is just, I mean, Mitch put it nicely a game or two ago. It's a great time to be a fan of Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. New set seems to be impactful but not broken, at least for now. We can say that. But it's definitely adding excitement. The new cards and heroes are fun. People are out here having fun all day. But Connor does decide to go for it. And he just does it raw on its own. Whew.
He's going to go ahead and just attack with the Teklovossen there. Immediately Colin blocks with 2 cards, discards a card. He's going to draw back up to 4. Looks like he only got 1 more hand left. We can see a blue. We can see that heavy art.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Connor just playing to fatigue.
And it looks as though Connor maybe just passed the turn. And the answer is yes. That means Blood in the Hands is going to be active here.
That's terrible.
It's terrible?
That's terrible.
It's terrible?
That's terrible. He had to pass with 4 cards in it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely if you're fans of Teklovossen, it's hard not to be fans of the underdog. This is going to be blood in the hands. I don't know how many coppers, maybe only 2. So that's just going to be +1 on the Centauri Saber.
I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying from his perspective, that's terrible.
Yeah. So 3 block on the Mecropotent, right?
Yeah.
3 block left.
Which is not
3
nothing.
cards in hand.
But he is going to activate Kassai to also turn on gold activation. He's got a lot of hit and runs, which is going to suck. Because those are so good the second time you attack with a
All right, buying
sword.
Block Glint the Quicksilver. That means we're going to get to draw a card. That's a hard to find all draw here.
Which is pretty good, but he may not even need to pitch anymore after this.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, now thanks to the blood on her hands, we can attack with it again.
And that come in with the hit and run to the yellow, so I think it has +2 on top of that.
That would make sense.
So 3, so is it coming in for 5 maybe?
For 5 total.
Oof.
That's going to take another block from the controller, and then a hold the line on top of that.
Blocks out the 5 cleanly. Cell Sword coming in for 3 again. Blocks it with the Mecropotent. Hot streak. Colin's on a hot streak.
Yeah, Teklovossen
Will it last?
has blocked now that Centauri Cell Sword. That final Centauri Cell Sword putting in so much work so far. The hot streak going to buy the block from the hold the line.
Does it again.
No cards.
He does it again.
No cards left in hand for Connor. Does he just throw that final Teklovossen attack forward? He needs 3 resources to do it. How many cards are even left in deck for Connor here?
He's got more than Colin, that's for sure. So
Yeah, 'cause
this is on Colin to win this game, or else I think he's going to deck himself.
Yeah, it's going to get very, very close to fatigue here for Mr. Eriksen. Looks like we're just going to go ahead.
It does run Remembrance, but I don't know if it's in
This,
this deck right now. My guess is no, because we haven't seen it, and we're on the last 5 cards.
looks like we're activating Kassai here. Need to make sure we can find a way to get go again. We need to make sure we can attack with the Centauri Cell Sword if we want to get through the defenses. Mecropotent only blocks for 2 this turn.
I think Kassai has 1 card in deck right now.
Yeah,
4 in
absolutely.
hand, hit and run again.
Sword attack, going to get the go again.
Activate Kassai. Because, might as well make some money off of this.
Ooh, there's a Nourishing Emptiness in the hand as well. I wonder if that's going to be something that's going to be close enough to close this game, depending on...
Oh, he does have a Nourishing Emptiness? Oh.
Yeah, he has 1 left, so he's been banishing attacks, you have to imagine.
But he can block with his body.
He can. Body block.
And he can... body blocked up. All right, anyways. And a card from hand. So it's not total endgame there. But, oof.
Something Colin could be trying to set up. It's going to be hard, folks. That's going to be another block from the...
Now the Nourishing Emptiness just got spicy.
Yeah, so here we go. This is 3 damage from the Centauri Cell Sword.
You gotta block it.
Take another block from Connor. We're going to put the hot streak in front of this now. That's going to buy a block as well. Let's see. Colin is just going to go ahead and pass the turn here.
Oof.
Leave Connor with 1 card left in hand.
Wow. 3 cards in hand and he passes. That's rough. I feel like that Nourishing Emptiness would have been pretty good, but I don't know. He's better than I am.
Yeah, Nourishing Emptiness going to the arsenal here. Connor is just going to arsenal as well, basically putting it on Colin. You have to find a way to kill me or this game is just over. You are out of ways to finish the job. Hit and run.
Got one block left on his body. Right? It's Battle Worn, right? He doesn't die.
Yeah, Battle Worn. So 1 block left. 2 damage here, and that's going to take the final block from Teklovossen. Looks like he's going to go ahead and just block 1, take 1, go to 5. Centauri Cell Sword coming in for 3.
And his Heart of Foundel stops working because he's got higher life.
Yeah. Now a hot streak coming in for 2. That's going to take a huge block. It looks like that's just going to end the turn here. Again, 1 card left in hand. Which would be huge. If it's a blue, do you attack with the Necropotent? Force the discard here? Oh, it's going to be an Annihilator engine out of the arsenal, so here's 9 overpower.
Ooh. He does have 2 reactions, but pretty much...
And from there, what do you do?
Yeah, you keep swinging 1 sword with your Heart of Findle and hope you win. Who decks out in this scenario? Someone with a card that gains them life?
Oh my god, goes to 1 because of the Steel Blade Shunt as the defense reaction. Let's see, I don't think it's going to be enough to fully close this game out. Connor Davenport's probably going to stay alive at like exactly 2 after the Nourishing Emptiness. This is going to be probably it, Colin. I think we're seeing the Necropotent come all the way back and take this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously why Connor made it up here, because he seems to know how to pilot this pretty well. It was tricky, you know. He really had to believe in his deck and wait for his shot and set up everything he needed, and it's paying off for him. It's oof. Colin was at like 34 for the longest time.
Yeah, Liquid Cooled Mayhem gonna go ahead and come in for free, and the final attack of the game is gonna do it. Connor Davenport has come all the way back to win the quarterfinal match of the February AGE Open and has taken down Kassai of the Goldens, and the Necropotent is infinite.
Teklovossen, you know, he's a cool, rich guy. He's probably richer than Victor, if you ask me, you know?
He's definitely richer than
He's one of them tech rich guys.
Victor's just a horse.
Victor is just a horse.
He's rich in hay and gold. That was insane.
That was really good.
See that? Oh my goodness.
I was here the whole time.
He got all the way back from like being completely just ripped to ribbons and assembled the Shadow Demi here to close the game. That was unbelievable. Look at the chat. They're going crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I feel like this is the kind of end game you go back and really study, because there's so many variables that could have gone different ways. Maybe there was a bit of value. You know, maybe if he had played out that CNC turn earlier, or if he'd played out that Nourishing Emptiness a little bit earlier, would that have benefited him or given him the edge enough to really put Connor in the worst position? But when you run out of cards, you got nothing, you know?
I mean, that's how Teklovossen is supposed to play, right? You're supposed to just get absolutely beat to crap for the first, couple turns of an aggro matchup. But then if you can establish those Evo pieces, if you can gain the life from playing them out, and then these incredibly powerful overpower attacks, once you become the Necropotent, and honestly, Connor there was really able to find the final pieces of damage on those final turns. He was not too greedy, didn't attack with the Teklovossen at the last for the last attack, and stayed alive just barely long enough to close the game out. So congratulations to both our players in the top 8. But Connor Davenport moves on to the semifinals against, I believe, a Dromai. That's not all right.
Well, our top 8 is updated. Let's take a look. Ooh, Charles Dunn defeated undefeated Zane Johnson. That's rough. Zane always just does really well, but has a rough time in top 8 sometimes. But that's not his best matchup, I don't think, against Bravo in general, or a super fatigued Bravo that Mr. Charles Dunn has brought. But we got Leon Castle on Dorinthia, the white mage himself. And so, yeah, we got Dromai and Teklovossen. I love that we have Welcome to Wraith, just classic matchup back here, and then we just got a dragon lady fighting a robot.
Absolutely, and you have to imagine that's a tough matchup for Connor there in the semifinals. But listen, if he could somehow sneak past that Dromai,
I have no idea.
One of Charles' only losses on the day was to Connor Davenport in Swiss.
Was it really?
Yeah, Connor took him down. I mean, Teklovossen it's like he's designed to beat Bravo. That's like what he's there to do. But here's the thing, man. I mean, that's looking like a good bracket for the national champ. He came in, snuck in at the 8th seed with this freaking fatigue list that he is so good at playing. That's looking like a good bracket for our man.
The man knows himself, and he loves his fatigue, and he's out here having a good time. He said, I come here to play Flesh and Blood. Why would I not want to play 55 minutes of every round?
Yeah. All right, well, let's go ahead and take a quick break from the two of us. I would love to get a drink of water personally, and then we'll be moving on.
Not allowed. But
All right, I will stand here parched.
all right. All right. Christine says you can do it. Okay. We'll be back in just a minute with our semifinals. Let us know in the chat what you want to see. Well, maybe we'll put it on stream or we'll just pick what we want.